Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Ranking the Albums today. Once again, from the UK, in the co-captain's chairs, Simon Bray and Stephen Reid. What's going on, fellas? We got some Powerwolf to talk about today, right?
Certainly do. Absolutely we do, yes.
There you go.
Yes,
well, actually, they're going to do the talking. I am not familiar with Powerwolf, but they're both big fans, and they're going to rank the catalog for you. So how many albums we got, guys?
8.
8 albums.
Yes, we've got the same amount. Yes.
Yes, I'm glad you agreed. That was good.
I would hope so, right? So they're going to start with
there's compilations and stuff, right? And there's quite a bit of extraneous stuff.
They've done lots of different things. Anyway, we'll cover that. Sorry, Peter.
Cool. No, I was just going to say, so they'll start with they're going to rank them from their least favorite all the way to their favorite. Will this be one of those catalogs where every album is a complete winner? Do we have some stinkers here? I don't know. We'll find out. So Simon, kick us off with your number 8.
Oh, well, usually what happens is that Stephen does a potted history.
We can do that if you like.
I'm deeply confused because I found something out about Powerwolf semi recently that I didn't know. I am astonished to find out that the guitarist, the Grey Wolves, is it Grey Wolves? Matthew and Charles, they're not really called that.
None of the members of the anyone who watched last week's show that we did about Dream Evil, okay, that band decided to change all of the band names mid-career. Halfway through, let's change all of our names, did it for one album, changed them back. No. Powerwolf did it the right way. They've all got silly names from the start.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got Matthew Grey Wolf and Charles Grey Wolf. So lead guitarist and guitarist stroke bassist in the studio. They have a live guitarist as well. We've got Falk Maria Schlegel on keyboards. I presume that these are relevant to something, but I don't quite know what. Attila Dorn on vocals, and Roel van Helden on drums. So he joined in 2011, played on their Blood of the Saints album, but as a guest, and he replaced Stefan Funebre, who was on the first 3 albums. And there's been a couple of guys have come and gone very quickly in between times. So we're in Germany here. Power metal, very different power metal from what we spoke about last week with Dream Evil. I think so anyway. I would say they fall into horror metal in a way as well, because lyrically there's definite themes here. Okay, so we cover wolves, no great shock there. Lots of things like Dracula, lots of blood and gore, and lots and lots and lots of religion. Okay, so we have, we'll get to some of the song titles because some of them are phenomenal. Okay, some of these songs you think, oh, Christian power metal, and other ones you think, satanic power metal. And quite cleverly, they've never answered the question. They go, our religion is metal. And that's why everyone comes to see them, and that's what it's all about, because everyone here worships metal. So they have left it completely open to question as to what way it goes. And with some of the song titles, you completely make your mind up. And then there are like concepts on albums where you think, no, they can't be that because they must be this. Quite clever. But it's all the way through all 8 albums, with a few exceptions here and there. That's the lyrical theme. That's the whole thing. That's the game. That's what we're playing.
Kind of refreshing from the Dungeons and Dragons and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's a little bit different.
Yes, we're not talking about dragons here. Yes, absolutely. And it is a bit different. And they all wear, I was really tempted to ask for the white face paint. And so they like got the ghoul makeup. They do it well. And I'm not quite, the older they get, the less well they do it, maybe. That'd be fair? No? Maybe being slightly unfair.
The lead singer, as I like to call it, recently done a Pardo and cut his hair, and I can't get my shit past that, really. But both with Powerwolf and you, Peter, just weirds me out. Short hair is not metal. Just saying. No hair is definitely metal. That is definitely metal. But
Trust me, I'm still very much metal, regardless of my hair.
8 to me, Simon Bray. Yeah. One thing I would say before we launch into the big 8 is that I will repeat myself again later. I think I once described them as the AC/DC of power metal. You know what you're going to get with them. And there is a kind of a formula, you would suggest, and that's roughly a little bit of Latin, maybe some chanting, some Gothic keyboards, and fist pumping, with religious overtones. Just last week we were riding over the villages and going like that, but here we're going over mountains. And we're a little bit bigger this week, I think, aren't we? Yes, we are. And they just, I don't think there's a turkey in the catalogue. I don't know about you, but I do. I think what I've really realised over the last week is my favourite Powerwolf album is the Powerwolf album I'm listening to right now.
Yes, I'll go with that.
They're all good.
Come on then. They're all good. So what's the least good today?
Thanks for asking. The least good right now, and I'm sure you're about to bring it up because I can't find my CDs again.
Okay, that's all. I've got them in order now. You're going to confuse me now.
Unless we've got the same order.
I don't know. It has happened before.
It has happened before. Yes, you're right.
My least favorite, probably because it wasn't one of the ones I've listened to today, is 2009's Bible of the Beast. And one thing that you do get with Powerwolf is pretty cool artwork. Yeah. Actually, might be my least favorite of the artwork, but it's an excellent record. It really I'm so old. It's an excellent album. Starts off with Radio Fist Evangelist, and I take that as an instruction. Yeah, absolutely. When Attila Dorn says Radio Fist, I'm there. I'm 100% there. Vocal, he's a very interesting vocalist, I find, mainly because he can't help being, and this is certainly a concept over here, a club singer. Yeah, so for instance, Catholic at morning, Sinister at night. Just adds that a little bit, and he does that lots and lots. So also on this one, Werewolves of Armenia, we're the army of the wild. A cool little tick that once you notice that you kind of waiting for it.
I'm really prominent on that album as well.
Very much so, but it's really really good record. It's fun, it's power metal, it's gothic, it's all the things you'd expect, and it's got the brilliantly named Resurrection by Erection. Hold on. There's at least one super commercial, really good, banging, fist pumping tune on every record, and this one is Resurrection by Erection. And another day, this will be much higher up than it is. It's a good record. No turkeys whatsoever in this catalogue.
Well, I'll say that today it will also be a lot higher up the list. But more of that later.
So basically, you listened to it this morning, and that's why, right?
Pretty much. So my number 8, I'm going right back to the start. Okay, so I am with Return in Blood Red. So this is the debut. Okay, that's cool artwork. Yes, absolutely. And you'll find,
if it's got werewolves on it, you got my number right there.
Well, and most of the albums up until recently actually close out with spooky sounds and a little bit of thunder, maybe a creaky gate, and lots of usually for a couple of minutes.
Wow.
I mean, they really milk it. They really milk it. And that's a theme across most of the catalogue, that's how the albums fade into the distance, But right from the start, I'm with Simon here. There's not a clunker here. I found this remarkably difficult. partly for the reasons that Simon's mentioned as well, is you know what you're going to get. I would suggest that maybe the first couple of albums are slightly less refined in what they then go and do.
Yes.
This is a little bit more of a power metal album. You know, it was interesting watching album homework assignment from last weekend, and there was kind of ideas thrown about power metal, and that's not really what Powerwolf are. They can do that. They can throw it down and hit you full force at full velocity. They tend to sit in a much more kind of mid-paced situation where it's all about the thump of the music. And they hadn't quite refined that at this stage, but it's still damn good. Mr. Sinister, which opens the album, I mean, that's the way to announce yourself as a band. It's absolutely fantastic. And the vocals are more of a roar on that. I kind of liken this album to being a bit like if Ghost had met Rob Zombie at a Typo Negative concert, then they might just have sounded like this, because it's got that kind of, they don't play, I mean, they credit keyboards in the band, but they play organ. It's church organ most of the time. So you've got that kind of layer of grandiosity, you know, and religious overtones as well, fun enough, with the theme of the music. But there's massive riffs, there's growly vocals, there's kind of horror themes. So you bring all those bands together and you kind of end up here, but not as serious as some of those bands can be. But we're not playing it for laughs either. Do you know, there's not much in the way of comedy here, even though you can kind of take the mick out of the name of some of the songs, it has to be said. But yeah, and the standard's really good. The guitar playing from both of the Grey Wolves is absolutely fantastic. And the soloing is superb. We Came to Take Your Souls, Sons of the Morning Star, Black Mass Hysteria. It's a great debut. It just happens today to have fallen as my number 8.
It's my number 7, which is cool. I think you're very right. I think they were kind of really searching for the sound early doors, and as you're going to find with my later top few, I think they really got their shit together later. Fredrik Nordstrom was engineering this one, and I think we met him last week, didn't we? And he had quite a bit to do with some of their earlier stuff. Yeah, Mr. Sinister is relatively downbeat for the Wolf. Let's call them Wolf from here on in, shall we? You know, but they really get their shit together on the song with We Came to Take Your Souls, and in particular Kiss of the Cobra King, which they've re-recorded about 36 times since, just to make sure that they really get it right. But you know, it's got that kind of like, this is the Kiss of the Cobra King. Whoa, yeah, yes, a big whoa. It's not, and I would suggest that this album is not quite as instant as some of their albums. Really, you know, you can hum a Powerwolf tune pretty quickly.
Yes,
but this one's not quite as instant, which is just, hey, that's just what it is. And again, another day be much higher up, but hey, I'm giving it 7 as number 7. Sorry. So, and actually, 7 would be a good number to give it out of 10 if we were doing that. It's a good solid record.
Yes, in actual fact, that I ended up doing that with this because the catalogue is so uniformly good that I did actually give them rankings, so that when I came to think, right, I need to get an order here, I looked through the rankings and discovered that I scored 4 of them the same. So it did help and it didn't help in that sense. So my number 7 is album number 2, Lupus Dei or Lupus Dei. I'm not really that great with my Latin, but we're definitely Wolvine here, or Wolpine, or whatever we call, and that really cool artwork as well. I think that the artwork is great in places, good in others, but that's cool, isn't it? That's really smart.
I think what we should do, especially given that he did it with the previous one, is that every time he sees one of the covers, Pete should try to be the cover. You know, like the Wolf, like that one. There you go. So I think this is now officially a thing.
You got it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I will do my part to make this video interesting instead of this.
So what we'll call this video is Peter Mimes Powerwolf.
There you go. Sounds good.
Yeah, you'll regret that later, Peter. Okay.
Probably.
Just putting that out. So this is a concept album, okay? So this is based on parables from the Bible, but moved into a metal setting. Okay. I mean, what's the story? I don't really know. But the main character seems to get a massive bloodlust mid-album, and then they see the light, as we're doing here, see the light, and they are redeemed. Hence, that's why it's difficult to work out with a band that's got some of the song titles that we've already mentioned and more to follow, whether they're kind of going religion, I don't think so, or religion, yes, I do. Do you know? But it's very clever. I mean, and they love a rhyming couplet, do you know? And some of the things that they do rhyme are just ridiculous. But some of the stuff on here, Behind a Leather Mask, that's a bit kind of Maiden-like, I think, in its style. Dorn here in his lower register, I think we're kind of looking at a bit of Blackie Lawless and a bit of King Diamond without the falsetto, kind of merged together. There's that theatrical kind of bite about it all. In Blood We Trust, that's a great song. And yeah, I mean, we're album number 7 here, and I'm already telling you how great it is. You can kind of sense where they go from here. I think they're not quite there yet with the Powerwolf sound, but we're not far away. So yeah, that's my number 7.
Okay, it's my number 6. This is working out well. Keep it up there. Okay. I think at times, particularly on Vampires Don't Die, I think he's got a kind of Eric Adams kind of thing going on in his voice there. Particularly he's saying in lower register. Hey, Saturday Satan. I mean, come on. A tune. Yeah.
It is.
I can only imagine that going down so very well in parts of the Midwest. Yeah, Pray in the Dark. They're getting a little bit more gothic-y, I think, in this one. They're really getting there. I think is the phrase that pays. We take it from the living. Fist. You know it makes sense. It's a really, really good record. That sees them very much, putting down a marker, as Sean Dash would say, to what they're going to become. Yeah, but the next 5 are just out of this world.
I'm not convinced that your Sean Dyche, analogy there is going to travel too far.
It's not, but it makes me feel happy.
You did get some love for your Burnley top.
I did, didn't I? Yes,
yeah. We're talking soccer here, Peter. Soccer.
I was wondering. Okay.
It's what you really should call football, I may add, but that's another argument altogether.
Yeah.
So my number 6 is, as a big Kiss fan, I quite like Preachers of the Night. There you go. That's good. That's good. We've got our thumbnail right there.
Could you just find the Burning Cross, Pete? Could you do that?
Yeah,
the Burning Cross. Go for it.
I'm sure you have one to hand. No?
I don't have one, but I'll use my in-rock. I'll have to do.
So yeah, so this is 2013. This is album number 5 that we're at here. And they have really found their sound now. So we're big and we're brash and we're bold, and there's got to be at least 3 songs that go dun, 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 on every album by this stage, but they do it remarkably well. Do you know? We've got Secrets of the Sacristy, great twin guitars on that, a little bit of Halloween, classic Halloween in there, I would suggest. Amen and Attack, that's another great guitar song. That's fantastic. The more choir based, I think it's Sacred. I can't read my own writing. Sacred and Wild. I like that as well. There's a bit of that grandiosity that some bands take too far, and I've written it for later on. But if there's one thing I'd say about Powerwolf is they incorporate a lot of different aspects from this style of music, and don't quite overplay any of them. There's lots of bands that have a shtick, and that's what they've got, and that's what they do. And sometimes by the end of an album, or certainly if you were going to do what myself and Simon have done and gone, I'm going to listen to all 8 of these, by the end you'd be a bit... I don't find that with Powerwolf. I don't get bored of this at all. So, it is simplistic in some ways because you do kind of know what's going to happen. But man, they do it well. And really, in Attila Dorn, they've got a fantastic singer who sells this stuff. I mean, what we spoke about last week with Dream Evil is there's a band there that's playing things for laughs. Not all the time, but quite a lot of the time, and they know what they're doing, and it's tongue-in-cheek, and we're all along for the laugh, we're all along for the ride. With Powerwolf, they want you to be along for the ride. I don't feel there's not much humour in the lyrics. I mean, the lyrics are ludicrous in places, and they make you laugh in places, but it's not played for laughs. It's a different feeling, a different tone, and it worked better for them. I don't think you could play this for laughs, actually. It would be a bit daft. But they've got things like Krausfauer, so we're now singing in German, so there's a little bit of German in there too, but not a lot. Anyone that doesn't like bands to sing in their own languages outside of English there's not enough to put you off. That translates into Crossfire. And I actually think they could do with some more kind of Germanic things in there, because that language really lends itself to this big bombastic chant along sort of stuff. And you can't sing along to Powerwolf, you have to chant it. You have to really lose your shit to them. They're that sort of band. So that's my number 6.
And my number 5. Yeah,
I didn't even put it down.
excellent. Yeah. Yes, I think I'm going to talk about roughly the same things. I actually wrote down the phrase most twinny guitars that they've got for Secrets of the Sacristy.
Yes.
It is twinny, isn't it? You know, it really is. I think it's the best that the guitars have ever sounded, actually. And there's more quality guitar work on Collier Sanctus, and you know my Latin's about as good as Boris Johnson's, and but it makes you feel like, oh, I'm a bit clever, you know, the singing, you know, it's in Latin, hey. But they really got their act together by this point. It's just excellent from start to finish. And I think the point that you make is true. I have listened to all these albums this week. I have listened to them from front to back, everyone, without stopping, and I have not, like you said, not felt bored. You know, and that's. I know you had Pete. You had that chat with Greg White the other day about listening from front to back, and these albums make sense. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't want to take a song out, or you wouldn't want to play around with things. They make sense from front to back, and then you think, and they're not astonishingly long, and then you think, oh, that was good. I enjoyed that. Oh, pop it on again, or I'll select another Powerwolf album because I'm in the zone. Yeah, excellent record. Good, glorious gothic power metal.
I think you've made 2 really good points there. The first being something that you are a fan of. These albums are concise. There's, for want of a better turn of phrase, I'll be very Scottish here, there's no shite on them. So, you know,
what was that? No shite?
Shite.
Oh, shite. Okay, I got it. I know the shite thing. Okay, I know the shite. No BS here, right?
Well, yeah. I'll be more Scottish then. Keich. There's no keich. Okay.
That I don't know.
It means exactly the same thing. Okay. So yeah, all of the albums are around 40, 43, 45 minutes. And yeah, perfect. I mean, there's loads of bonus tracks and live things on the end of some of the additions, sorry. But the albums themselves are just, they're in and out, and every song matters. They don't think, do you know what, we've only got 10, 11 songs here, let's add another 3 because we've got them. They give you 10 or 11 songs, and every one of them makes sense. And the other really pertinent point there is that the albums flow. They're really good at constructing albums. Because they're about the atmosphere and they're bombastic, they are able to add in slower sections where it's maybe more about the church organ, maybe more about the kind of atmospheric sounds, the howls and various things like that. But they know when to pick it up, throw up the pace, hammer down the beats. And as I said, I mean, I'm not having a go at Dream Evil here. Everyone that watched last week's video will know how much I enjoy that band. But we're in a completely different area here. And it kind of accentuates, I think, how different power metal can be. And anyone that kind of laughs at power metal doesn't understand that there's lots and lots and lots, as there is with every genre, thrown into that pot. And you're really not listening to the same band over and over in that sense. So, but anyway, moving on. My number 5 is Blood of the Saints. So here you go. I mean, you'll need to take on multiple roles for this one. That'll do though. That'll do. Yes.
There you have it.
I think you've got the whole thing down there, realistically. And I mean, I've got these excuse me, I bought the box sets editions. So you've got 2 studio albums in this one, along with a classical kind of version and a fantastic booklet, History of Heresy. I say booklet, I mean it is a book. It's a proper,
Oh yeah.
it's a book, do you know? With some great imagery of where they record. They do like to record in some interesting places. They also like to make videos in churches and things and get lots of order for that, which they say was entirely unintentional. Okay, so that's album 3 and 4 that go into this box, but there's also a similar but different box for albums 1 and 2. And in here you get another book and a backing show as well, and there's art cards and various things. These editions are still out there, and they weren't the cheapest, but they are great. They are.
I'm disappointed. Where are the stickers?
They were eaten by the wolves.
Okay, good
Been
excuse.
consumed. Right. I presume there were no stickers.
Wow.
That's all I can presume in shock news. And inside what you get is nice card cases. Which are all very cool.
Yep.
And they do kind of, as they move through their catalog, start to theme the look of all the albums, which I like as well. The backs of the albums all tend to kind of have similar styles and various things like that. So I do like a band that kind of know what they are, understand what they're about, find an image, find a cool logo. They've got the whole thing. They've got the whole deal. So anyway, Blood of the Saints. This is my number 5. And we're in prime stuff here. So they love a rhyme. They love die, die, crucified. Okay, they absolutely adore a stupid rhyme, and it works for me. I do too. But there's some really great stuff on here. The guitar solo on Phantom of the Funeral is outstandingly good here. I would say that this album is less interested in some of the, I don't know, it's not quite so bombastic in the sense that there's not quite so many chants, there's not quite so many massive backing vocal areas that I really like on some of the other albums. And that's the only reason that this was one of the ones that I started to rate them all the same, because I really like it. But it just lacked one or two of the elements that, to me, take a Powerwolf album and just raise it above some of the other ones there. So, but some great stuff on here. We Drink Your Blood, of course we do. Murder at Midnight, it's just as well that it's not quite that time here yet. And it's just, as I say, I mean, the album ends with howls and all this sort of stuff. It's a whole thing, you know, from front to back. And I mean, there's Night of the Werewolves on here. There's thought involved in what goes on with this. And this was also Roel van Hilding's first album with the band as well. So that's a current drummer too. So that's my number 5.
Ooh. That is his actual name as well, isn't it?
I think that is his actual name.
He doesn't have a cool
name.
Is that because he's Dutch? Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is. Yes, I think also because he guested with a band before he became a member, that they decided that it would be
so his name was already out there
afterwards, because no band would ever do that, would they?
Never.
And I've just checked my emails and I missed the bit where this is an unboxing video.
Oh, sorry.
Did I not get the memo for that?
No, but you can't find your CDs, so you couldn't unbox.
Oh, don't worry, I will. I will have things to show later. But I do not have my number. I'm up to 4. 4.
Oh, you're at 4. Yes.
I'm at 4, which is Blessed and Possessed. Are you ready? Here we go.
You're making me work here. You're making me work here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what that is. It's like,
yeah, well, he's pointing at what seems to be, well, I don't quite want to go into detail of what it might be, because it may well be a horned savior of the world, possibly. For want of a better turn of phrase. So yes, just you be the wolf, Peter. Okay. But that'll do. That's quite good. Do
you know what? That is good life advice as well, isn't it, Peter? You be the wolf.
I have no problems being the wolf. I like that.
Excellent. This is another really good, solid, excellent record. I went back to what can only describe as my review for this album, which I'm just going to read out a few little bits from it, and you can fill in the good bits later, Stephen, because it's clearly quite high. This is where I actually did call them the AC/DC of power metal. It's a really big sounding record. This is the kind of record that you want to, I would open the doors, but it's pissing down, and just absolutely let the neighbours know how much you like Powerwolf. And that is very much the kind of thing I like to do. Very, very much the kind of thing I like to do. I also noted that it's progressive. It's as progressive as Ed Sheeran, and I mean that in the very best possible way, because you know what you're going to get, but they do it so damn well. They really do. It's I must have been on form that day. Cacophonous sound and catchy tunes, and a safe bet every time. And we've got some great tunes here. Dead Uns. Well, another thing, that's what they do. They seem to juxtapose words that don't really seem to go together, like Dead Until Dark, We Are the Wild, Christ and Combat. Hello. What? Yeah. And like you said previously, it just clocks in at 45 minutes and 42 seconds. So you can just slot it on again. Just really, really solid record. And again, could have been higher, could have been lower, because the catalogue is just top notch.
Yeah, we often, and we may yet, but we often point at each other and go, "Well, you got this wrong." And that this catalogue is so solid that I don't actually think I can do that today. Because as you're ranking, I'm kind of going, well, that's not quite the same as mine, but on a different day, it might well be.
We brought up a couple times on this video, and almost every week we talk about that 40 to 45 minute album length is kind of like, we tend to think of that's the sweet spot. And lately I've been like, like I go to the gym or I go on a walk, it's generally 45 to 50 minutes, right? That's usually enough, all the time I have for that. And I tend to want to listen to an album that's going to fill up that entire time, not go over it and not go too far below it, because I don't want to have to then think about what am I going to listen to next to fill up 10 minutes. So I think that 45-minute time length of an album is absolutely perfect.
Do you know, it's interesting because in between, as I've been listening to this catalogue through the week, I've been trying to listen to some other things, and things I want to listen to, things I'm maybe reviewing or whatever. And there's been a couple, and some of them are really, really good. But because these albums are so concise and because there's no fluff, anything that's kind of been heading towards an hour, I keep checking back to see, is this not finished yet? And that's bad, because I've got lots of long albums that I really like. Yeah. But this week I've kind of conditioned myself into, why am I still listening to this? It's gone over 45 minutes.
This should be over by now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I feel your pain. I mean, you're talking about maybe going out for a walk or being at the gym. I mean, if I'm going for a walk or if I'm out in the car, there's nothing worse than coming back and you've still got 2 songs to listen to, because you think, well, did I take them into the house and listen to the last 2 songs?
But I'm kind of done with that album now. It's like, it's all right, the 5 hours in between. Yeah, I'm going to move on to something else. Yeah,
absolutely. So I feel the pain, but yes, I think in the modern age, an album that's around half an hour feels like short change. It didn't on vinyl, but it does in the CD age. But that point where everyone felt they need to put 17 songs on their album and go to 75 minutes.
Yeah.
So many albums need to go in the bin because half of it should just have done that. But anyway, it's not like us, but we're not talking about what we're here to talk about. My number 4. There you go, Peter. That's it. Look at that. This is the Sacrament of Sin. I should have given you my hoodie for it.
So I like that one. That's
yeah. I think this is album number 7 out of 8. This is 2018. Jens Bogren is producing at this stage. And yeah, I think they really hit the sweet spot with the artwork on this and their most recent one. I like the art on all of them, but the last 2 really just seem to take the idea and it's just suddenly become a thing now. And there's more of a kind of, it's definitely a character. It's not just a wolf, which I like as well. and that really works for me too. But there's some absolutely great stuff on the Sacrament of Sin, which is what this is. Demons are a girl's best friend, not diamonds. Demons, and there's these silly little word plays, and that's what they are, that kind of make me smile, and I quite like them. And there's lots of whoa, whoa, whoa on that song, and they do like a big gang choral chant, and I can get right behind that, I have to say. And this kind of refines some of the playfulness that's on some of the kind of mid-era albums that I really like. And there's like Night Side of Siberia, that's almost oompa metal. It's got about it. And in the wrong circumstances, it's utterly ridiculous, but it's not on here. But it's one of those songs that you have to do everything in time with it. You have to walk like that when it's on. You have to lift things like that when it's on. Type like that when it's on. It's so
it sweeps you away with the music.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I look ridiculous at the best of times, but when songs like that are on, I mean, it's just off the scale. I mean, I'm ill. It's not right at all. But it's still, they manage to do things and keep them just on that right side of ridiculous. It's ludicrous sometimes, but it's never quite ridiculous. And I think that's really clever in what they do. It's not as throwaway as some stuff that you'll come across that's like this. Killers with a Cross, there you go, Killers with a Cross. Do they love religion? Do they hate religion? I don't know. They do, but they're not telling anyone, and I like that. That's almost got a kind of Eye of the Tiger, but underneath, it's buried underneath, and they're really catchy. Underneath these songs, these are pop songs, there's hooks, there's melodies, there's choruses to sing. This is melodic rock, but with whips, chains, big teeth, and I really like that, because I like that kind of lighter stuff as well, as we all do, but they really just take it and they narrow at it, There's lots of that involved here. Yeah, so that's my number 4.
So for everybody watching, since I don't own any of these albums, I love that album cover. That sounds like a great album. So I'm going to take one day off from doing my spooky albums for October and just go listen to that one. That's all you need to know. So
yes, I said it before we started the show. This is a shame that you don't know this band, because for the theme that you've got for October, Powerwolf are absolutely tailor-made for it. Tailor-made for it. Wolves, werewolves, Dracula, lots of religion, it's spooky, there's big church organs. I mean, the albums nearly all end with, oh! You see the artwork. I mean,
so basically, I got to order a couple before the month is over, is what you're saying, right? Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, then. If I must.
What I took away from that was that you like whips and chains and big teeth.
Is that myself or Peter you're referring to?
You. I think you're talking to you, my friend.
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to do number 3. Do number 3 and put that horrific image to the back of my mind. Yeah. My number 3 is Blood of the Saints, which I think we're beginning to diverge ever so slightly. If I was one of those people that tweeted bollocks, my tweet would be, "Sanctified with dynamite, we drink your blood, murder at midnight. Name me a better opening 3 songs. Go on." But I'm not.
Still waiting.
But what an absolute dynamite. Get it? Opening triumvirate. Yeah, just excellent. Really, really, really good. The church organ on All We Need Is Blood. Just like quite chilling, really. I mean, chilling as in actually like spooky, not like the kids use the word chilling.
Yeah.
How do the kids use the word chilling?
What are you doing today? I'm just chilling, innit?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Are you doing anything tonight? Chilling.
That's real chill.
Yeah,
Chill.
yeah. I mean, chilling. You know, it's really atmospheric, spooky stuff. This, you know.
I didn't realize that I was sitting here with the cool cats tonight.
Simon speaking, and it goes teacherly voice. Goes from the cool church. Come back and join us, Stephen. Come on, if you can behave. Come on. And then it just
Out
goes
of the corner.
Complete headbanging mode. And it's just like it's formulated. It's just brilliantly well done, you know. And it's got Son of a Wolf as well. I mean, come on, Son of a Wolf. Yay, you know. The great thing about, I think, all forms of power metal is that most of it's done with some form of tongue in cheek and some form of knowingness. But when it's done at its absolute best, and I think it is by Powerwolf, this is that kind of like communal kind of cool way. You know, we are really cool. We're singing about wolves. We might be singing about dragons, but you know what? It's all day. You know, rest of the world can go and listen to pretend to know BTS. There you go. They're well known, aren't they? But you know, this is our little power metal community that's actually bigger than you think. Oh, BTS are a Korean band that the kids like.
Oh, okay. The Korean kids.
Don't know about that.
Okay.
But the kids, they like them.
The kids. Okay.
The kids, yes.
Not the Who's kids. So it's not all right.
No.
No. Okay.
We can edit that bit out, can't we? Okay. So yeah, just an excellent record. And I cannot believe that it's 10 years old. Just can't. You know, doesn't time fly when you're having fun?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And smile. No.
I'm excited to know what your next choice is.
Well, my next choice is Blessed and Possessed. They do like a rhyme. So if we're going to rhyme, let's rhyme the album. Blessed and Possessed. And that's the juxtaposition here. That's what we're talking. Do you know the whole thing? There is Christ and combat on here. But the reason it's Christ and combat is, well, I'm guessing, I think, kind of, in the lyrics, sort of, in a way, but maybe not, is it's about the Crusades, I think, possibly. It's about fighting for God, but fighting with a sword for God. So is it for, is it against? You know, it's neither. And then you've got Sanctus Dominus, because that's what that song's all about. It's not really about the song, it's about going Sanctus Dominus, lots and lots and lots, and I do it too. But this is good. You've got Army of the Night, which is just phenomenal. That's a proper doom, which you do really well. And then you've got like the title track, you've got Dead Until Dark, and I'm convinced that they have hijacked Nickel McBrain for that, because it's just got that feel about him. It's got just fantastic use of ride cymbal, you know, and I do love that. I'm a sucker for that. They don't actually do that very often, but I really like that. There's a couple of songs back to back that do that on this album, and I really like Blessed and Possessed. We're really into prime time stuff now. This is fantastic, really good.
Cool.
Okay, top two. And you remember last week we both said that with Dream Evil, I really don't like putting the band's most recent stuff at the bottom. Mm-hmm. But I think it's fair to say that I am going for the most recent stuff at the top. Yeah, but which one is it? It's Sacrament of Sin. Look at that on vinyl.
Oh, look at that. That's fantastic. I didn't realise we were doing a showing off our vinyl.
Wow, look at that.
Do I do that every week? Isn't that my thing? Isn't that my job? Isn't that what I do? That's
I got TV box set.
Look.
That's pretty impressive.
That is very impressive, yeah. I mean, the band's look is both ridiculous and fantastic because they do it well. They really do it well.
They do. And do you know what you need when you're 53 years old? Do you know what you need? That's right. A massive poster. That's what you need. Yeah, really big poster, because you start putting posters on your wall about 35 years ago.
That's perfect. Not only does Attila Dorn look just ever so slightly like you there, Simon, just ever so slightly. I'm not suggesting if you put a little bit of this on that we wouldn't know the difference between you.
The contouring, I can contour.
Yeah, a bit of contouring. And take this as a compliment, because he's the spookiest, most evil guy in the world, but he also slightly looks like your dead auntie. Do you know? And the longer the band goes, and I definitely can relate to this, but the longer the band goes, the wider he gets. Would that be fair to say? Do you know? I think that's just because he's a big character. Let's just put it there. Let's leave that.
Yeah, he's also a bit older than the rest of the band as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, now he's had his haircut. Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been dead for about 200 years, so that's maybe why.
Could be. And what I'm about to say, kind of used to be phrased that was like a figure of fun in the UK. It was #1 in Germany. It's a bit like being big in Japan. Yeah. Everybody else hates you. But Demons Are a Girl's Best Friend. What a tune.
Yes.
Absolutely. Banging tune. And where the wild wolves have gone, nah! He's back on that one. He's back on it again. Knights of Siberia. I'm across the fucking Urals at that point. I'm riding there on my horse. I'm out there at that point. I really am. Punchy metal on Squiggle, which I've written down. Yeah, my writing's awful. It really is. It really. Nighttime Rebel. Sorry. Really, I think I wrote lovely guitars.
Lovely. Quaint. The guitars are quaint on this album.
Yes. So nice. They're just the nicest guitars.
I love the bit of loot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're in Blackmore's Night territory. No, we're not. Absolutely not. It's just a really good record. They have, as they've, I think, actually got better and better. So clearly, I think that, given what my #1 is obviously going to be, just really good stuff. Just excellent. Really good.
Yeah. So the only album that we really diverged on across the catalogue is my #2, Bible of the Beast. This is the one that verges on ridiculous. Okay, this is the one that there's that line between ludicrous and ridiculous, and it's pushing that boundary ever so slightly. I mean,
but you love it for it.
Oh, I adore it for it. I absolutely adore it for it. I mean, you can listen to all 8 of these albums, and I will still be singing for days on end. Resurrection, by erection, I mean, it's like, but I can't tell you just how dodgy that sounded there. Okay, they make it sound much more convincing, in the right way. I may add. Okay, now here's a question for you, Peter. You've never heard this. So if you want to write a song called Werewolves of Armenia, what are you going to rhyme Armenia with?
Good question.
Yeah, and I don't think they answered the question, because what they decided to rhyme
diarrhea? I don't know.
Well, they decided to go slightly more highbrow than that and rhyme Armenia with hoo-ha. Okay, hoo-ha. That is what you rhyme Armenia hoo-ha with. That's how you do that, okay? Because obviously that's the only thing that rhymes with Armenia. Hoo-ha. But anyway, yeah, so you've got Catholic in the morning, Satanist at night, okay, because it's all, I mean, he's son of Hetfield here, do you know? It's not, hey, yeah, he's that's what he's doing. It's kind of the same idea, but slightly different. But it's bigger and it's bolder, and then you've got things like seven deadly saints, whoa, 7, and it's just so damn ridiculous that I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And then it kind of pulls back from then, and that's one of the songs where the double kick drum does just, they don't do it often, but when they do it, I mean, take cover, you know, it's coming straight through the room, and it's just going to destroy everything in its path. And that's why I like this album. Who has erection as? Do you need more in your life?
Not really. Not really. I'm gonna go to the supermarket. Everybody see it tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, hoo-ah!
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Doubtful. Very doubtful. This is, I mean, do you know what I'm going to do next week? I'm just going to send a little recording of me along saying something along the lines of, well, I've never heard them on the radio. So the chances of actually hearing them whilst you're in Asda are minimal. The chances of actually finding their stuff in record stores around here is deeply minimal, apart from the day it comes out. You know what I mean? So don't think we'll be walking around the supermarket hoo-hawing. But if you do, please let me know.
I will let you know. I may just have to do one just to tell you what my response was. What kind of response I got was. People would be looking at me like, what the hell is this guy up to?
I would suggest if you get a positive response, you could then push the envelope and sing Resurrection by Erection at them, because I'm sure that will also go down well.
Yeah.
Or up well.
Actually, you know what? If I'd have done it a week ago before I cut my hair, nobody would have cared, because like, oh, there's the crazy metalhead. They're always doing some kind of weird shit. Right now, they're like, oh, what is that nice little young gentleman doing over there? What is he singing? I don't know. So I may just do it just for the hell of it. Hoo-ah! I got to practice now. I got to practice. Yes.
You practice what? You practice while Simon talks about the music.
Okay.
Because that's what we're here for.
That's right. Okay.
My number one is the most recent one. Can you do that one, Pete? There you go.
That's it.
Do
you model for this band?
I must have. You know.
I think you do.
Look at that.
Can you see Pete? Is that the hair?
Yeah.
He's done a thing. And do you know what you want when you're 53 years old? That's right. Really big poster. That's what you need.
Very nice.
Very nice. Yes, you need.
Looking serious there.
Oh, we are serious. This is a serious one.
This poster is going back in here, and it will never come out again. I'm pleased that they gave me a poster, but do you know what I mean? There you go. But you know, you can't play a poster, but you can play the record, and the record is just absolutely fabulous. What are the first words on the album? I hear you ask.
What are the first words on the album, Simon?
Thanks for asking. Fists up in the air tonight. Leave the sane, unleash the wild. Again, it's telling you what you've got to do. You know, you're driving down the road. You've just pulled out in front of a bus. Yeah, fist up in the air. Off you go. Lobbing a little bit of Latin. Job is absolutely a good. It's just really great record and great videos as well from this album as well. So very, very good. I particularly like not the video, but Varkalak. I feel like we're almost in dance mode at this moment. You know, I don't mean the Chemical Brothers or anything like that, but we're, you know, just it's a little bit pushing the envelope, not quite through Satan's mailbox, but it's a little bit more towards the realms of the ridiculous, but not ridiculous. It's just like the natural progression from everything they've done from what they started at, and it leads it to this point. I fear for them, because how can they top this? I just don't know. It's just so good. Alive or Undead. It's just the biggest ballad of all time. It really, really is. It's just enormous. And then suddenly on Blood for Blood, yeah, it is. They turn into Gravedigger.
Blood for Blood. Yeah.
Blood for Blood. They turn into Gravedigger.
Yeah.
With a palatable singer. The crowd's going wild. You know, it's just wow. Yeah, I just wish I had the commitment that you've got there, Stephen, you know, to actually do Beast of Gevadon like it needs doing, you know what I mean? I just a brilliant record. I've listened to it since Pete sent it me to review, which I never did.
Crickets.
Yeah, I've listened Naughty Simon. Simon's on the naughty chain now, isn't he? But just listen to it incessantly, and you can do that because it's, again, the right length to listen to incessantly, over and over again. I just think I'll take the dog for a walk. Oh yeah, excellent. Oh, we did the 45 minutes there, didn't we, doggy? Yes, we did. That sort of thing. Yeah, just it's a perfect length. It's just a fantastic record. I love it. And so do you.
I mean, we sound like a member of the band. Do you know, you've done 8 albums now. What's your best album? Well, do you know, I'm bound to say this, and it's not just for sales, but I actually think that Call of the Wild from this year, that's our best album. But it is their best album. This is one of the best albums of this year. I absolutely adore this album. It just seems to have brought everything that has come before and stick it in a 45-minute album that just says Powerwolf. It just says Powerwolf, and it's prime time stuff. This is absolutely fantastic. I mean, you've got songs here that are catchy and memorable, but inappropriate, like Undressed to Confess. Do you know, I mean, the message behind that is self-evident, shall we say. But I think that the balance between 2 excellent guitar players here and a phenomenal keyboard player who really underpins everything in the Powerwolf sound. They wouldn't be the band they are without that kind of atmospheric church organ kind of sound. But there's a little bit more keyboard work in here that isn't quite that as well as it. There's just more breadth, there's more bombast, if that's at all possible. But the guitar solos on here, they're not lovely, but they're damn tasteful. Do you know, it's not just a band who we can play, wow, they really all play for the songs. And that to me is what the key to this band is they're damn good songwriters, do you know? And what they've decided to do is really coat it in what makes Powerwolf, you know, massive riffs and huge keyboards. It all comes together and it's fantastic. Beast of Givadon, Dancing with the Dead, Dancing with the Dead. I mean, it's almost, I mean, the way I'm saying it, it's a disco classic, but it's a massive power metal anthem and it's just fantastic. If anyone really likes this style of music and they haven't checked them out, start here. Newest album this year. It's going to be in my top 10. There's a few months left, but it's going to take something special to knock that out of there from any genre. It's absolutely fantastic. There's lots of options. Simon's got a phenomenal vinyl, which looks absolutely fantastic, but there's, if you can see that in there, there's bonus discs here with, this is a selection of their songs sung by other people, such as Ralph Sheepers, we've got Doro Pesh on here. They've done similar things on other albums where they've got a CD of covers that they've done and various things. There's lots of bonus tracks on various versions. There is another version of this with another disc, which I was too slow to get because they all just went in pre-orders. They were all gone. By the time I thought, I really need to have a physical copy of this fantastic album, I'd missed the boat on that. And I can't even see it somewhere else to go and spend a fortune on it. So there you go. So yes, my number 1 is also Call of the Wild from 2021, the newest Powerwolf album. And it's fantastic.
That must be damn good because you guys sold me on all these albums, but the newest one is the best. Cool.
Yeah, I think you'll love them, Peter. I really do. I just think you'll absolutely love them.
I'm going to make it my my homework assignment to go and check this catalog out like this week.
Yeah, I think that you will definitely include them in your October theme because they tick every box.
Cool. Have you, Stephen? Have you ever seen them live?
No, I haven't, Simon, but I think I possibly know someone who might have.
That's right. That's me. But the really interesting thing about them, well, there's 2 things about them. I told Pete this once, that they don't actually, they must pipe the bass player in because he's certainly not on stage unless he's stood at the side. And that really weirded me out on them for a while. I thought, I am deliberately not going to like Call of the Wild because they don't play the bass properly. And then I listened to it and I realized it was awesome. But the absolute key figure in the band is the keyboard player. He is just hypnotically entertaining on stage. He really, really is. He's up and down. He's up and down, plays the keyboards doing weird shit. He's just really, really interesting individual. You can't take your eyes off him. And that's fairly unusual, isn't it?
Even just some of the live clips and DVDs and things that I've seen, they are showmen. It is a show. But he's living it. He's absolutely living it. And strangely enough, if I can find a picture in this copious book that's in here, he's probably the most normal looking, if that makes any sense.
Mm.
I mean, I say normal. I mean, they're all wearing ridiculous, ghoul face paint and all this sort of stuff. I say normal, but we're kind of here.
Yeah.
So he's normal-ish. Do you know? He looks like an accountant underneath that.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with accountants, by the way, I may add, but not necessarily in Powerwolf.
What's interesting too is they're on AFM Records, correct?
They're on Napalm now, aren't they?
Napalm now, yeah.
Oh, they're on Napalm, but they were on AFM before, right? Yeah, I know there's a lot of bands on AFM Records who are using that paint like that. They're not black metal bands, but they're doing there's like this whole rash of like power metal bands that are doing similar type of thing. It's not full on white. It's more kind of textured in blacks and grays and things like that. I don't know why, but whatever.
I mean, it's meant to be that look of the undead, but yeah, there is. I mean, there's lots of bands that are kind of using that as the base of what they do.
Yeah.
Do they need it? They don't really need it, but I'm not complaining about it. I mean, they've got classic bands from the past have had an image and a look and a theme and a kind of lyrical base, and they're just lifting from that, and I suppose taking it a little bit further. I mean, unlike some people, I haven't seen them live. I wonder, was it a big venue that you saw them in, Simon?
Academy 2 in Manchester.
So
Excellent bill. It was about 800 to 1,000.
Yeah, okay.
Amaran, Thinkers in Dynamite in Sport. Excellent bill. Very much enjoyed it. It is a relatively small venue, but you know what? Yeah. We're bringing the pyros. We're bringing the more marshals than you can shake a stick at. It's a show. It's very, very entertaining. Other than the lack of bass player.
Well, yes, I do wonder if they might have played up here and I've maybe missed them. But if they play up here, it would maybe be somewhere smaller. And I don't know if it would maybe be lost in translation because it's from what I've seen, it's very interactive. The crowd are part of the show. Do you know, it is about chanting along and it is about singing in between the songs and just building it all up and creating an atmosphere. And they really connect. They're one of those bands that when you watch DVDs and things, you kind of, oh man, I'd love to be there. It just looks like so much fun, you know. And I do wonder if you kind of scaled that down. I mean, they must start in smaller venues, everyone does. If it would have the same kind of theatrical effect. I don't know. But yeah, I am suitably jealous, Simon. Yes.
Yeah, and they're not coming anywhere out of London this time, are they? On their newest tour. So thanks.
No, unfortunately not. But there you go. So yeah, so that's Powerwolf. There you are.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. Well, like I said, I will be checking out part of this catalog because it sounds like a band I would probably like. If you are a fan of Powerwolf and you know this catalog pretty well, please rank them as you like them in the comments below. If you're like me and you've never listened to them, go out and check them out and report back. Let us know what you think. So I want to thank Simon and Stephen for doing their homework today and putting these lists together. This was lots of fun as always. And but stay tuned because I think a week from today, doing a little Firewind, correct?
Yes, indeed.
I will be taking part in that one. So yeah, so this should be fun. Gus G and Company coming up next week. Firewind. Stay tuned for that. In the meantime, visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on this thing called YouTube all the damn time. That's right. Stay tuned. We got coming up tonight. We got the Monsters Den here on the channel. Tomorrow morning, Martin Popoff back in the house at the Fun House. And then Sunday, we've got album homework assignment with Jack Toledano and Anthony Ferraro. These two gentlemen are doing a rematch, so stay tuned for that in a couple of weeks on album homework assignment, as well as lots of other combos that we're working on. So thanks for watching, everybody. For Simon Bray and Stephen Reid, I am Pete Pardo. See you real soon. Bye-bye.